This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian. Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we usually are watching the best movies ever made according to IMDb. But over the past 4 years at this point, we've been doing bonus episodes quite a bit to try to put off the inevitable, the end of all things.
Yeah.
And this week,
end of times.
Well, actually, guys, I want to say, so I've been walking a baby around a lot recently, and because of that, there's nothing else to do except for listen to podcasts. So I've been doing a lot of podcast listening, and I've realized that we're really fucking it up because something other podcasts have that we don't is shit tons of advertisements in them.
Oh, right.
And I think
What
we should
is wrong
start
with
adding
us?
a bunch of advertisements in there because I'm sure that's the only reason we haven't made it big and are, neck and neck with Joe Rogan and, whoever else, Radio Lab.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on, because we're
It's got to be the only reason.
we're definitely
We're hilarious. We're insightful.
I don't know.
We're recognizable faces to the masses. I'd call myself like a B+ for celebrity over here.
I get pointed at on the
like a
street
3
all
or
the time.
4 at this point. Yeah. I mean,
People see me on the street and they're just like, is that the guy from Road Trip? Is he the curly-haired dude from Road Trip? I think that's him right there.
That's a kinky
People
hair
see
guy.
me in the street and they're like, why is he staring at me?
No, he's like, hey, did Steve Buscemi have a kid?
That's creepy.
Yeah. Is that Steve's cousin?
Nice.
He does sound like a firefighter. So maybe it is.
Hey,
We're almost
up
up to we're almost up to 400 subscribers on YouTube.
Nice.
Any day now.
400, that's a
Look at
big
that.
number.
400
number.
mark.
And that's
So,
just YouTube. I have to
Yeah.
imagine that people don't watch audio-only content on YouTube
That's right.
a lot,
It's true.
But
anyway, yeah.
But I wanted to say, this week, I want to do some advertisements. Do you guys have anything that you use on a day-to-day basis that you want to say, hey, you should get this because it's good and I like it, and you just give them some free advertising?
Well, I mean,
I'm putting you
I
on the
did see
spot.
that Isotope RX11 came out.
Oh,
That's a hell of a feat.
if you do audio mixing and you master,
Okay.
Isotope is the shit.
It is the
Take out
best
those,
that
take
you'll
out the
ever
clicks, fix the loudness. If you have a podcast, you need something like Isotope. That's a good one,
get.
TC.
That's right.
Good.
There you go.
John, you
Thanks
got
for
anything?
Free Isotope.
I think if you got a dog and the dog has dry pads.
Dry beans. I like to call them
Doggy
beans.
pods, little patty pods. If they get a little dry, especially in the winter, there's a little wax called Musher's Secret that you put on it, and it's
Musher's
awesome.
Secret.
Yep.
Wow.
I
We're just
highly
like soon
recommend-
to be radio influencers.
I highly
Yeah.
recommend Musher's Secret. It's just a little blue tin. It's not very expensive, and you just put it on. It's just like a little wax, and it just protects the little paws. So,
Oh.
yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
We got
Very much.
dog paws and audio
There you
mixing.
go.
Come on down.
I'm gonna go with a butt spatula. They exist. They're for babies. They're made out of
What?
rubber. If you want to put something on your baby's butt, like you're not supposed to use baby powder anymore because it gives them
Right.
cancer, I guess. But now they have like Aquaphor and Vaseline and all that shit.
Yeah,
You don't
but
want to
you
use
don't
your
want
finger to put it on.
you still don't want to get intimate with your baby. You still-
Whatever. You get pretty intimate no matter what. But if you don't want, so you're trying to change your diaper, you don't want to get your hands dirty because then you have to finish changing the diaper with dirty hands. That defeats the whole purpose
That
of changing
doesn't
a
make
diaper.
sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So you
I
need
guess.
like a rubber stick that is flat to apply this shit to their butt so they don't get diaper rashes or whatever. It's great. It's gross. It sits right next to the changing
just saying
table.
you would, like,
Sometimes we forget to clean it.
utensils, not directly
I know.
touching the baby.
I know, he's got like a whole thing.
We have
It's like
like
in Back to the Future when the can is getting opened for the dog and he's got like a whole
That's
thing.
right. Yeah,
just
it's like
yeah.
whenever we
No,
put her
yeah.
down for sleep, we have one of those things they strap the cow into and lower it down to the Velociraptor
That's right.
chamber.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about mechanical
butt's
stuff.
clean.
Yeah. All right.
Clean.
So
You get the butt spatula. Okay,
now,
awesome.
here,
Never
here we
knew.
go. Fame, here we come. Got some podcasts in there. All right. This
now,
week
now
we're
we have
watching-
advertisements.
Yes, and to pad this episode out, why not?
That's fair.
So this week we're watching George Miller's new movie Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. This movie stars Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth. And let's do a 15-second little synopsis here and what we thought overall before we get into. So do the spoiler-free 15-second synopsis, and then we can get into spoiler territory.
Okay.
John, what do you think?
An awesome prequel that really feels like it was almost. It feels like it was made before the Fury Road, in a way. And I've never seen a prequel that does that. It feels like it was the movie that came first, and I really sort of appreciate it. It made me want to go back and watch Fury Road again, and I really liked it. I enjoyed it, but I also feel like it yeah. I could talk more about that.
John
but
has
it's
no
like,
sense
it's
of
like
time.
a prequel. Yeah,
That's
that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I quit. Good
Yeah.
and a great prequel, a really good prequel.
Yeah. I would say it's a production. It's impressive for the production value of it. If you saw it in what is it? What the IMAX?
IMAX, yeah.
Wow, that was awesome.
You saw it in IMAX?
Yeah. Other than
Nice.
that, it's kind of like a bad Dune.
Oh. Well, don't compare it to Dune. That's not fair.
Well, but it's very similar in the idea, right? Like they go on these journeys, these long journeys in the middle of dust.
It's dust journeys. That's true.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Okay.
So if this movie, or if Fury Road was like a really good version of Road Warrior, this movie is like an equal version of Thunderdome. I thought it was really weird. It seemed really slapped together, but I enjoyed the movie going experience. But at the same time, it's been a couple weeks, and I barely remember any of it.
That's true. I saw it Sunday. So yeah.
And do you remember it?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I remember it because it was 2 days ago for me. So
but there's barely anything memorable that happens in this movie. I remember. All right, so spoilers now.
Hey, are we done with our little snippets? Can we talk normal?
I mean, we
can. Spoilers, because there are spoilers. The third act in this movie is amazing. It could be considered equal to whatever was in Fury Road. That parachute chase scene was incredible. Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. The problem I had with it in this movie is right in the middle, and acts 1 and 2 and 4 and 5 were nowhere near as good as anything in Fury Road. And Fury Road amped itself up. Like it was kind of like it kept getting bigger
almost.
And bigger and bigger until the end. And this movie was like
Fury Road was like all action all the time.
Yeah,
and I loved it. I love the way the Mad Max universe works. It's so good for this. But you're right. This was weird because it was slower and more trying to be emotional, trying to sort of like there was a romance and there was this and that and it felt strange that there was this stuff.
Well,
right?
in Fury Road, it was like all of the story stuff that happened was only there to service which new bad guys were going to go try and attack the main rig, right? It was like, oh, they're trying to get Bullet Town. All right, so these Bullet Town guys are going to try to attack it, and they have new weapons and stuff, and like all the plot stuff was just who's going to be on the rig while it gets attacked and who's going to be around them attacking them. That's like all that was. And it worked pretty well. And this one, it had a lot of story stuff that I didn't really care about. Looking back at this, like I read through the Wikipedia plot, Act 2, what the fuck happened in Act 2? John, you saw it 2 days ago. What happened in Act 2? Act 1 is Desert Chase, where spoilers, her mother dies.
But Act 1 is, girl desert chase. There are parts of that I kind of liked. I thought they were kind of cool. I'm talking
negatively. I came out of the theater thinking that was fun.
I liked it. Overall, I agree. So Act 2 is where the mom gets her there. They're like at the camp.
The mom is dead at the end of Act 1.
At the end of Act 1, mom's dead already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At the end of Act 1 is when she's being crucified, and
so
Furiosa
Act 2 is
runs
when the young Furiosa is in a cage for a while, and they run around and do shit, and like he goes and tries.
They try to take over the Citadel.
Right?
And it doesn't work out.
And it doesn't work out.
That was so ridiculous.
And yet they go and then they go and somehow still win.
You gotta admit
Gastown.
he's funny.
He's like, give me your house.
Funny.
And they're like, no. You're like, why not? Because we got bomb dudes coming over here.
I enjoyed Hemsworth. I enjoyed what he was doing.
Me too. I thought he was funny.
I was not expecting it. It was really weird. That's one of the weirdest parts of this movie is, Fury Road seemed like consistent in its tone, but like he was such a weird character. But it's also kind of more like the other three Mad Max movies where there's just like random silliness going on. That is actually silly.
Yeah. He was silly, but tortured weird. Silly. I just like
teddy bear because his kids are dead. Like that's a weird thing.
I mean, that was such a stupid plot, but still like
it was dumb, but he was enjoyable to watch.
Yes.
I think
he definitely was going all out with his whatever he was doing on the screen.
Right, exactly. It was weird and it was so
I thought some of the those just scenes with them where she barely speaks. Like I just was like, why isn't she saying say something, right? Say something.
She has
just
30 lines of dialogue in this movie and 2.5 hour long.
Man, well, that's a hell of a paycheck for 30 lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She couldn't even shave her head. She couldn't shave her head because of modeling contracts. All
Oh,
that
really?
shit with her in the shaved head was CG. There's so much
really?
CG in this movie.
Oh my
That's
god.
my
wow.
last
It
complaint.
also feels that Fury Road felt so much more impactful
like
and
they
real.
actually filmed it.
Yeah.
This movie
this one, yeah.
it was kind of fun in some way to be staring at it and being like, I think most of this is kind of fake, but
Yeah.
I can't tell because all the color correction is so weird, and like some of it's real because there's like humans standing over here on something.
But even the humans were corrected. Like they did things with the girls
when they
did
put
things with the
Anya
young girl.
Taylor-Joy's face on the kid, I was like, what the fuck are they
Yeah.
doing here? And then like
They
at
did.
the end, I think they put Charlize Theron's face and her voice. It
Mhm.
sounded like her voice at the end too. I was like,
Yeah,
this
they
movie
were
is
trying to
so
merge
damn
those things.
weird.
Yeah.
It was
So-
like none of it worked that well, and that's why it just seems so weird that they're just like, we're gonna try this weird idea. Doesn't look great, but that's what we're going with.
That's
So
what we're doing here.
Yeah.
it's just none of it worked that well. They had a lot of ideas, but like this movie could have been really crazy good if it all worked, but none of it worked.
Maybe it would have been.
I don't
so.
think.
So the original idea too, again, was to just film this back to back, like right after Fury Road, to get into this,
Mhm.
and because of there was stupid salary disputes with Warner Brothers that it took years to resolve that.
Really?
We
because
talked about
George
this.
Miller
We-
was saying, back in our
we thought it
original
wasn't going to
podcast-
happen. Like,
Well, yeah. And I made a prediction of that. I just reposted that episode and I had to re-listen to it to make sure we didn't say anything stupid that was no longer allowed in society. And I think we mostly got away with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was 5 years ago.
That's
It
true. You
was.
never know.
Yeah, things change fast these
Things
days.
do change.
But my prediction was that he was doing it so that he would have more time on the pre-production side
Oh,
to not have it come out like The Hobbit, like Peter Jackson's movies,
Mm.
because they pushed him along really fast for those ones.
Well, I
And
thought Miller wanted to move fast, but I don't know.
I mean, I also read things that they were going to do the Furiosa script as an animated feature done by the
Yeah.
Animatrix.
Oh yeah,
people.
right. But the Animatrix.
So like,
person, yeah.
there's kind of some like I'm sure there was different ideas at different times, but anyway, the conflict that he was suing them for was he thought that Warner Brothers owed him $7 million because in his contract they said he would get that bonus if he came in under budget, which he said he did, and they said he didn't. I don't know how you wouldn't like know that pretty certainly, but they
Oh,
fought
they
about
know it. They know it.
How,
Yeah,
how did they
then why
settle?
even-
Do you know how it was settled? Like
March 2020. You take
right,
a guess
but
on how they
like
settled
in
it.
his
They're probably just like, I don't want to deal with
favor
this during the pandemic. The world's ending. Let's just fucking
Right.
end it. I'll
Yeah,
take half of what
let's-
you
yeah.
offered. All right, sounds good. Yeah.
or fine.
Yeah, maybe
35,
so.
Give me 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, March 2020.
Uh,
It's got to be that. There's no chance it wasn't the pandemic. But it could have been. Who fucking knows? Anyway. What else you
All
guys
right. Well,
got?
that's it.
Let's see. I
Did you
got a
guys
number
care
of
about
things.
the,
Like
I got a lot of
said,
questions. Did you care
like-
about her storyline? Did you care?
yeah.
That's-
Well, I
didn't.
I not a lot. But it also
Were we
again,
supposed to?
It made
the
me
whole
want to
movie's
go and
about
watch.
it. It's her whole
Fury-
backstory.
No, I know,
There's
but
no
like,
other
does it
point to
really
it.
matter? Does it really
What's the whole
matter?
thing?
though?
Well, that, what's the point of the movie? Does the movie matter?
Supposedly,
No, not really.
about this character, but it does
a
make me
bad
want to
dude.
again. I want to go watch Fury Road again and see if then I like Fury Road even more because I have this sense of this character. Maybe I will. But
I don't know, because
even
I think Denny nailed it. I think Fury Road was really just about the chase. And
Yeah,
it was about how things
was
are
all
going
about
to
the
and like
action.
that
Yeah.
was it was why it worked, and you didn't
Yeah.
really need the story because
Nope.
it was all about what was happening, right? One after another.
It-
so
it- again,
But what
I went
what it
into
also
it
did,
with that in mind. You
Yeah,
know,
but-
of being
but
like,
also what-
maybe I won't care anyway.
but in Fury Road, I think one of the best things it did too, and I don't know if you guys remember, I put that one in like my top 5 back when we did like the top 5 of the last 50 or whatever. I love that movie. I still think it's like the best action movie
It's
ever.
good.
it is the best
Yeah.
action movie ever made. I quote
Yeah.
Denny all the time.
Yeah, dude, it is.
On
It's
that.
fucking
It is.
great.
I
And still
agree.
think
I
it is.
agree.
Yeah. But I think that the character stuff they do in that movie too is great because it gives you enough motivation for them to be acting the way they do. Like her acting, Furiosa's acting in that, and her backstory is like really vague, but it's vague in a way that makes sense to the movie. Not
Charlize
because like,
Theron
they're
is
missing
right.
information.
She's so good too in it. She's so. I mean, all of them are really good, and even like in this one, the Mad Max-ish guy just looked too well fed, sort of for starters.
Wait, in that one shot, Mad Max looked too well fed to you?
no, the driver guy, her love interest, just looked sort of. He just looked too healthy.
Because Mad Max
sort-
was in this movie, right?
right.
For
No,
like
no,
a
I
half
know,
a
I know,
second.
he was there,
Okay.
but no, I'm talking about like the other driver guy,
Yeah.
like her love interest, just looked too.
The guy who got
healthy.
dragged by the car.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end.
So yeah, it yeah, I agree.
Dollar store Carl Urban. Can we call him that?
Oh Oh, that's nasty.
That is nasty.
It's true. You're laughing.
It's good. I think it's good. Yeah.
Ouch.
That passed the laugh test.
Yeah.
I got a Carl Urban cheap.
Yeah, I almost couldn't say it. Try to say that. It's hard to say. Dollar store Carl Urban.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Maybe I'm just tired.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been watching
Sorry.
a lot of The Boys recently, so
Yeah.
because the season 4 is coming out, so that's why I got.
I sort of I like that, but also, man, that gets so dark. And they had the one season
eat
it was
dinner
all
while
about
you watch
the
it.
the
It's not an
kidnapping.
eating dinner,
No, I know,
you know.
but then they started at least like the second season is like all about the kids and stuff, and that sort of got dark and annoying. I don't want to
I'm
watch
sensitive
kids
now.
being tortured.
I like to
am.
say that we're both more sensitive to that now. We watched Godzilla -1 again since after having the kid. And the kid stuff is it's more affecting. Tiny baby.
See? Oh,
It
dude,
works.
go watch Arrival again. Go watch Arrival. You'll be a mess.
I already cried during that one.
No,
I
you're
can't
fucked.
cry anymore.
Go watch Arrival. You're fucked.
Yeah. I already know what's coming in that one though, so maybe.
That's true. It might be. Yeah, we watched that one right after having Samantha, and it just killed us.
Mhm. Can imagine that.
But,
So
Wow,
Act 2,
this is a good one. Yeah.
Let's go through it. Act 2.
This was fun. I
tried-
still really I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed my theater experience. Like I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I know
awesome.
it was it's not nearly as good as Fury Road, but it made me want to watch Fury Road again. I even loved how they like show the Fury Road.
Did you want to watch this
scenes
one again though?
in the credits. No,
Yeah.
but I still was like that was fine.
Yeah.
That was like a fine prequel. But again, it would have been so much better if this movie had come first and was the way it was, and then you get Fury Road. That feels like the way it should have been, because Fury Road was more the masterpiece. This was like setting some things up, trying some things, not really doing some things very well, having some things be kind of clunky. But it still would have been nice if like that film came out and it was kind of a success, and then they did Fury Road, then it'd be like, oh yeah. But no, but it almost feels like that's what happened. Even
Just
though
talking about impossible
the
things.
order.
That's good.
I know. It's not the actual order, but I still sort of appreciate that it's like it still feels like if you were to watch these films in order, it would work well. Like if you were to watch Furiosa first and then watch Fury Road, I think it would be pretty cool. I think Fury Road would like really knock you out. But I don't know for sure.
I think probably. I mean, that's
it would
not
knock
saying
you out
much though, because
anyway,
it'd knock you out anyway, right?
Yeah.
So what's the?
But
yeah.
it does feel like even though it's weird, there is some depth that's being provided here that actually might complement Fury Road pretty well. This idea of where she's coming from and what she's experienced.
We already
and
kind of
seeing
knew
it in
that from
detail.
Fury Road, though. The
Yeah.
details don't add too much. I didn't think.
It might be true, and it still felt weird when they were trying to do that. It just didn't. Yeah, I know it's weird. It didn't feel like this is not the Mad Max thing. You don't have the slow moving emotional stuff. It doesn't seem to work so well in this land. That's what's so good about this environment, the way it works. It's like
you get a slice, you get a tiny slice, like he's a wanderer and he gets a slice of a life over here.
Right.
And you
That's
get
all you
that in
need.
an action, like a conflict for an hour and a half, and then he moves on and you get like a little slice. This was like 5 giant slices of Safeway cake.
of just emotional stuff, and it felt strange. I agree. It just felt odd. I thought Anna Taylor-Joy was good. I thought she did a good job. I mean, she showed the fierceness and the way she was really there in it. So everybody was like, all the actors were doing their job, and I love it. Even so, I still love how there's like there's a presence with the bad. There's like even with like the weird bad guy with the mask and the bodysuit. He's great.
The pedophile guy.
The main bad guy. He's got a great presence.
Morton Joe.
Yeah, he's got a great presence. I love it. He just looks so weird and creepy, but also like commanding. And again, I think it's just really cool how
almost
that's
like in
pulled off.
Dune.
Yeah. I don't know.
Talking about
I would say.
the guy with like the nose ring.
I think I would say Mad Max has better bad guys than Dune. Oh, there I said it.
Okay. I mean, I could see them being.
I don't think the
different
Baron Harkonnen
scarier,
was not terrifying or
not in
even
this,
cool.
yeah.
Or anything. There was no like real presence about the Baron in Dune. So if I were to criticize Dune versus Mad Max, but
he seemed like an actual threat. He seemed like a dark force as opposed
This
to
guy's
Hemsworth.
this
He's like
guy
a cartoon
seems like
character.
yes, it does.
maybe so. That's true. It's
He's
comic
like
book.
Christopher Lloyd from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, just like bouncing off the walls, and you're supposed to be afraid of him because he murders shoes everywhere.
Oh, you mean? I mean, Hemsworth character is not frightening or intimidating, but I still like what I like
you
is
felt for. I was like rooting for him sometimes.
Oh, I know. I like the ridiculousness of it and the
his kids
yeah,
died too. Oh, I should feel a little bad for him because his kids died too.
Feel bad.
That's why he's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was interesting too that he had that like affection for her a little bit.
I enjoyed the back and forth scene, which
weird.
Normally the movie's gone on for a while. Normally I'd be annoyed by this. I actually liked their back and forth at the end. I was surprised. Normally this is something I'd be really annoyed by, and I actually liked it. I liked the way they were sitting there talking to each other when she's got the upper hand now. I thought it was well done for what it was. And normally I'd be tired and want to go home. So again, that was impressive. I don't know that he got the tree put in him, or that he grows a tree out of his
That's
body.
part of the movie.
Yeah,
I know, but it's like
that was something, wasn't
like,
it?
yes,
The idea of
so
just having to
weird.
sit there forever.
Weird.
That would
that's some
suck.
bizarre shit. I would not like that
Some
at all.
real torture right there.
Yeah,
I
guess
know.
so.
What else you got,
Well,
John?
all right.
Keep going, John.
I know, you trust more than I do. I'm already out of things to discuss.
The action sequences were kind of fun, but again, they pale. Like you said, I think I loved it when they brought in the aerials. That was fun. You know, when they had that going on, that
something
was
I saw
cool.
something I thought was missing in this one was the lack of soundtrack, because I was trying to figure out why it didn't seem.
It also didn't
like
have
I was
the
getting
style.
so into it.
Yeah.
I think it was trying for this. Like the colors were all fucked up again.
The colors were, but Fury Road had the style, man. The way, like even in the small
they get
clips they show
flamethrower
you at
guitar
the end.
guy.
Right? No, but also too
kinda
when something would crash, when there was a crash or whatever, and the way things would come at you out of the screen, the way they would like
I think it
show
was
how
because they
stuff
were
was
filming
moving
for
around.
3D for Fury
Maybe.
Road.
But even like you see those small clips in the credits, and it's like so different. It's so much cooler than what even the small clips that you see during the credit sequence of Fury Road sequences are way cooler than what you see in Furiosa. And
is
so
that true? I thought the third act, I think it's just because of where it was put, but I was like, this is pretty. The energy
I thought it
seem
was
there,
still
but like the
pretty
stunt seems
cool.
pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was something flatter about it. I don't know. The scene where like
It
you're on the pole
didn't
vaulter
seem-
thing and you're
Yeah.
bending down towards the car and someone gets ripped out of a car. Nothing was quite like that.
No, nothing was like that. I liked there was like the novelty of the aerial parts were kind of cool to people. I liked how it was done and coordinated. It was cool to watch.
I didn't really know where the people were coming from either. I didn't really understand why they were doing a battle. Like in Fury Road, it
and
made a
somehow
lot more sense.
everybody got like resupplied all the time. I don't know how. It's like, oh, we got a bunch of new guys now. We got
Like, oh wait, they're going to wait their turn.
reinforcements.
They're going to wait until these guys die, and then they're going to try 2 at a time.
And
Here we
it's like
go.
totally like a video game. Like all of a sudden, you got to have more dudes here so we can have more things happen. So you got to kill more people. So
but he has it on normal difficulty, so you can only do a couple at a time. Otherwise,
that's right.
Get overwhelmed and
They gotta wait
die and
their
have to
turn.
restart.
Exactly.
He'll eject the game and throw it out the window.
Right. So it totally felt like that because you're so like oh wait, he just got defeated the Citadel, but then he goes and takes over Gastown, but then he got
immediately
wiped out.
afterwards.
Right.
And then he just drives to Gastown and takes it.
And then somehow he takes over Bullet Town after getting wiped out again.
I didn't understand that at all either.
And then somehow
I read
they
the
have to
Wikipedia
leave.
page.
Right.
It's like
Right.
they went to Bullet Town because they want to go take Gastown, but they need bullets to do it. But Hemsworth is at Bullet Town because he also took it over, and they get ambushed by him in this new town.
Right.
Like I didn't.
And then they go to take the Citadel. They try to like get people out of the Citadel. You know, and it's a ruse that they don't fall for, but then they have the war outside of the Citadel anyway. Like, why didn't they just have it?
I hadn't put that together until you said it that way.
Right.
And
it's like
now it makes it even less.
But again,
like coherent, I guess.
Again,
I don't know.
That feels video gamey. It's like
it's because they're going on a journey that I forgot to like keep track of those.
Yeah.
Things.
Well, there's no thread.
You know,
there's no thread. Like in this movie, every act is like a different little short story almost.
Right.
Like she ages a certain amount, and it gives you like a little chunk of her story. But in between the acts, there's a huge gap in time, and it just gets. I don't know how you guys feel, but whenever I watch like any like 3-part movie, I usually get bored and I hate restarting because I've already invested in these characters. I've invested in this setting. I don't want to restart 5 times in a movie because like the beginning takes investment.
It feels that way. And I I totally get it too. Because especially like there's momentum that's building. Like it was a little boring at first, but I really liked the chase sequence. I liked the badass sniper mom
You didn't think the
pretty
chasing
cool.
looked so fake it hurt?
Really?
Even the sand they were running on looked CG.
I mean, you could
and the way
see
they were
the
running.
pretty bad.
weird CG
Yeah,
horses and shit.
Everything looked
Yeah.
CG, and the way they
I don't
ran,
know.
like they were running 50 miles an hour for some reason. They can just
maybe.
run super fast for some
I
reason.
didn't.
That whole scene was
I
like-
noticed for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
But maybe it's because
because
like I was in IMAX, and you know how like if you're in a certain level, you're closer to a certain section of the screen, and like I
You're
happen
staring
to
at
be
the feet
lower,
running.
and so I was staring at that bottom section as they came out on horses, or if they were driving around that mountain or whatever, and it just it really didn't look.
Man,
I mean,
I was in the perfect spot in the theater, dead center, and I noticed that there was weird shit going on this entire
I think that's fair.
okay.
I was just,
And
I
they
was like,
blur it a little bit to hide
yeah.
it, and you can tell when you start seeing shit like that.
There are things
Yeah.
like one of the things they did is that the Act 3 chase scene, they shot it over 78 days. That
Jesus.
one scene, 78 days. So they shot it in the Australian desert, and they wanted to match the skies. And you can't match the skies over 78 days. You can't do that. So
it's not gonna work, right?
sometimes they would use real skies. Sometimes they would use CG skies.
Yeah.
I have to imagine mostly CG skies. And just the fact that you're doing that, the technology isn't perfect. I don't know what I'm seeing that's wrong, but I'm sure that the line between the real ground, if it's real, and the fake sky is visible in some way because it looks wrong. There's something on the screen when I'm watching it. I'm like, this looks fucking weird. Like I've seen a bunch of movies and this doesn't look like I'm looking at something real. Something is fucked. I can't tell what it is. And that's how it was for like 99% of this movie to me, where it's just like, there's so much
that's fair.
they think is hidden.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sorry for,
No.
I don't know if you sound
just,
exasperated, John, but
no,
it's just a
But I mean,
bummer.
I wonder if this
To me,
is
it
why
is.
like the trailer kind of sucked, because
The
like
trailer
all they
really sucked.
yeah,
right?
the trailer.
Oh, did
was
it? I
terrible.
didn't see the
I
trailer.
thought the movie was going to be miserable, and then it was
better than the
surprised,
trailer.
But
Yes,
yeah, it was
100%.
better. But like it almost like they were still trying shit out when the trailer came out.
I think-
But
Yeah.
I think they just picked bad shots from the trailer, or you got
Or
used to
maybe-
it from the first act since it's all the same thing and you get used to the weird look. But I kept getting shocked by being like, wow, this looks kind of terrible in a really weird way where they're trying to like do so much stuff in this and it's not working. Like I think part of the reason is that George Miller storyboarded every single shot in this entire movie. So like if you couldn't get a shot from a drone to Bullet Town or whatever, one of those like large area things where the thing is panning in and you're seeing cars driving around a loop and you have a tower in the middle and like you have to do it in a computer because you can't build that shit. And you're not going to build a model, or sometimes it looked like they did build a model, but then they digitally inserted the model with a bunch of other shit happening, it just seemed like a weird
hodgepodge,
unfinished like visual exercise a lot of the time, which was really distracting to me.
And then like sometimes you wonder if like they're intending that, but then you're kind of you're like, I can't tell.
I don't think so, because George Miller can't tell, because what he said for the sky replacement, he's like, they can just do it nowadays. I'm like, they didn't do it. They can try to do it, but they didn't do it.
Well, I mean, you can keep telling me they can do it,
but you're 80 years old.
So, but it turns out we can tell.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't know.
George Lucas was like, fucking CG looks perfect. Jar Jar Binks looks like a human. You're like, no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It looks really bad.
Yeah, we don't need fart
Get
jokes
your eyes
either.
checked.
Thanks, George.
So it's just old people using tools they can't see.
Maybe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the employees are getting away with one because they can't see, like for shit.
Yeah, I don't know. There's
like,
still
yeah, looks good, huh, George? Yeah, looks great. It's like
I was still
done.
like just happy to watch it, and their little touches there, even during that initial chase. I think I was like happy early on because like, all right, we've got some action going, and the little touches that they would do, like she shoots the one guy and his legs are like sticking out of the ground at a really funny angle, and I just. There's still these things that I still love about this. I know, but I love it.
Scene about a mother dying, or is it a slapstick comedy where dude's legs stick out of the ground?
And the mother dies later, and that is what is weird, and what Fury Road nailed sort of perfectly to get like this sort of tone where it's just like ridiculous action, but not and not quite comedy. It did it really well. This film moves in so many different places where it's like, okay, torturing mom. Right in front of the daughter, like is this
pretty brutal?
Yeah, right. So again, at least they're not gratuitous. They don't go for the gore on
I don't know. The
torture
maggot
bits.
scene was Naomi closed her eyes.
I know,
but
I mean on like, you know, when they had the guy eaten by the dogs or whatever, they're not showing it. They're not
Right.
they're not
or like
showing
when they
their-
pulled apart his arms.
Right, they're not showing it. When
that
they're
could have been a
killing
lot
the
worse
mom,
than it was. for
torturing the
sure.
mom. They're not
Right,
showing
right.
those. They're maggots, whatever. But they're not showing. They're not glorifying in the really like the emotional combination torture parts.
Yeah, maggots,
yeah,
whatever,
right. Maggots,
says
whatever.
John.
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean,
man.
that was just weird.
Whatever.
She just
No
wakes
big
up. There's
deal.
maggots. I don't know what the fuck's going
They're on
on.
her
but
body. Whatever.
We moved on
Yeah.
pretty quickly from
There's
that.
another
anyway.
lady eating shit for some reason. Yeah.
Which
I don't
Nobody
know what
knows
the-
why.
I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck any of that was
Just
about.
there.
But
Yeah.
we just
they were
moved
trying
on.
to save her for some
I
reason. Did
don't
she
know. They're like, come
don't
back.
know.
You'll enjoy
When-
this.
All right, you
I
watched the
don't
most
know.
recently,
Ah.
John. When did that scene occur afterwards? Because like she got knocked out during something. Why did she get knocked out and wake up in the maggot room?
I forget.
Come on, John. Use your brain.
No.
2 days ago,
no.
John, you got it.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Oh,
I
I
forget.
don't.
All I know, she was like in the hole. And
She was in the hole.
She was like in
maggot hole?
underground, like well, yeah, they were like the rabble of the Citadel, right? The poor people of the Citadel. They like lived in like warrens or whatever around there, and that's where she ended up somehow. So she got knocked out because of the during the 40-day war, right? That's how she got knocked. No,
I mean,
that was before the
what?
war, before the 40-day war.
Come again?
PC, you got it.
The big war, the
I
big
wasn't
battle.
following any of
Well,
that.
big
What
battle.
big battle?
The
You
big
can't just say
battle,
the big battle.
between the final act, right?
Wait, the final act was
Oh,
just like
boy.
a 2-car chase scene.
Right. Okay. But so before then, but when Helmsworth's bad guys and the whatever
bullet?
the other bad guy's
Whatever.
name is are fighting.
we're really doing
Have their big battle.
right now.
Good. This is good. I don't think this is our
You know
fault.
that
I think this is
thing
the
with the
movie's fault.
thing, and you know how the thing,
Possibly.
and then after that other thing happened, and then the other
Yeah.
thing was happening before that. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's
I
why in
still
Fury
think-
Road it'd be like, because in the first half they were going left to right, and in
I
the
know,
second
I know.
half they were going
I
right
still
to
think
left.
this was still it was still entertaining and worth seeing. It just pales to Fury Road for sure.
Oh yeah, anything does, and I kind of appreciate.
I wouldn't call
how
this bad. I
No.
still
and
really
it doesn't
enjoyed
try
it.
to overdo Fury Road, which is also a good thing. 'cause
That is again
couldn't-
that's like my bottom line. It's like that, and that's what like the weird thing that a lot of prequels end up doing. It's like, oh, this happened before, but we've got a lot more money now, so we're gonna make it even more spectacular, even though it
and we're
came
going to do the
before,
same
and
story
it's really
beats
confusing.
and just make it the same thing. And
Right, so
gonna
it's
be worse.
confusing, right?
Yeah.
That and this one doesn't. This again, like I said, it feels like it. If you could reverse time, it feels like this came
It
before.
feels like Fury Road was not a success, and George Miller is still just doing whatever the fuck he wants.
Oh, there's that. So yeah,
Which is not a bad thing. I mean, that's kind
No.
of cool because usually if you have a huge successful movie, you try to like
yeah,
ride the wave of like, oh, my first 3 Mad Max movies were like tiny successes on tiny budgets.
Yeah,
This
right.
one was a giant budget and it
But-
was an even more massive success. And this
Yeah.
one, he just went back to making
But
weird
Fury
fucking
Road is
Mad Max
just-
movies like the first 3.
Yeah, and I don't know what it's been so long since I've seen any of those. I don't know if you guys have seen any of them recently. Other
Not in the
than-
past.
I don't even
10
remember this
years.
one. I'm not saying much because
But-
honestly, I don't remember much of this movie.
But it,
I
it seems
saw
it's
it
really
too long.
yeah,
Live
right.
in theaters. Yeah,
It just
too
would be
long.
interesting. It'd
I
be
can
interesting to
barely
go back
remember
and
what I did
see.
yesterday.
I walked out of the
So-
theater and I just like started jotting notes down on my iPhone, and then I
Yeah.
read some of them like, this isn't helping.
Yeah, it's like fax me some halibut. You
useless.
know, that doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
So, but it'd be interesting to see the earlier Mad Maxes, because Miller's involved in all of them, right? This is
Uh-huh.
Miller's stuff. It would just be interested to see where how it led up to Fury Road, because Fury Road is unquestioned. Well, at least it's a masterpiece, right? And
I recall you making fun of me putting that movie so high up on my list, but now you're
no.
agreeing with me?
I
Okay.
did not. I
I for some reason thought that you
no.
didn't think it was
I
as
make
good
fun
as it
of you
was.
for loving The Rock or something like that.
Well,
no,
I love The
Fury-
Rock. in
Come
a
on,
way
The
where
Rock
Road-
is
It's a
yeah.
pretty good
Fury Road
90s
is-
movie, but it's
I know.
nowhere close to
no,
Fury Road.
no. Fury Road is the best action movie I've seen.
Nice.
So I'm with
Okay.
you on that. I mean, but it's interesting to think about it makes me want to go back and see the other Mad Maxes in comparison and see, is
Yeah,
this
well,
more like
they're not as
Furiosa?
good.
Is this
They're
more
not
like,
as good.
yeah. So
They're more like, so Road Warrior is kind of like Fury Road, but it's like it's way slower. The editing is slower. The car chases are slower. It's a low budget movie, and the car chase doesn't start until like over halfway through the movie.
Okay.
But it's like the last 40 minutes is like one long car chase scene. And for the time, I think that was like pretty sweet. And I remember liking that movie.
Right. And the
when I was a kid.
atmosphere and the setting was kind of new, right? All of that was like maybe
It just seems like low budget, like weird stuff you'd make in a desert, which is what it is.
So. It's like we got no money, so let's just put it in the desert.
Yeah.
Right.
Because like the first half of, I mean, some people like all three Mad Max movies. I'm not a huge fan of the first three. The last 40 minutes of Road Warrior is pretty good, but the first hour is, I don't really care. Like there's this whole feud about people trying to get gasoline in this town and they're going to get attacked. And Mad Max gets, involved, and there's just really weird characters and lots of like weird dialogue. And they eventually try to like escape with all their gasoline. And then the chase happens when everyone's chasing this like gasoline truck. So kind of similar to Fury Road, but nowhere near as good. Like I haven't recommended watching Mad Max movies to you guys, right? No one's ever been like, you got to watch Mad Max. They're so good.
Yeah.
I think they're for like weird dads that like get into them late at night watching them on TV for some reason.
Someone sounds like I don't know, maybe Denny.
Yeah, I got some trivia on this one.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
The little kid they hired for Furiosa was a separate actor from Anya Taylor-Joy, obviously. But what they did was they slowly ramped up the digital overlap of the young actor's face and Anya Taylor-Joy's face.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't do it too subtly because I remember there was one shot in the movie where she was wearing like some type of like mostly covering her face mask as like a very short person standing in front of like a bunch of dudes or something. And her eyes were Anya Taylor-Joy's eyes.
Right.
And I'm like,
which
what?
Nobody has eyes like that.
Right. Yeah, they're just like giant bug eyes. And on this little girl who didn't have eyes like that, the last scene, I'm like, are they digitally putting Anya Taylor-Joy's eyes on this like 6-year-old girl or whatever? This is the weirdest shit I've ever seen. And they did. They tried to do it slowly.
They did like a percentage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they were trying to do it slowly so you wouldn't notice. But for me, that was one of the things that I remembered in the movie. I was like, that's some really weird special effects stuff.
It was really weird. Yeah. And I really like Anya Taylor-Joy. She's great. Like the Queen's Gambit was really good. If you guys haven't seen that, that's where
liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really good. But she has a very unique face. And
she's in one of my favorite horror movies. We watched The Witch. That was her first movie.
She was great. The Witch too. Yeah,
she was good in Split. That was like a pretty decent movie.
I haven't seen Split, but
it's M. Night Shyamalan. Pretty good one.
Good twist ending there. I'll bet.
Pretty good twist. One of the best twists, actually.
Ooh.
It's the twist is it's actually a sequel to something.
Which one? Oh, it's a sequel to Unbreakable.
Yeah, right? But when it came out, you didn't know it was until Bruce Willis was in the last 2 minutes of the movie.
And there he is. Oh.
Yeah. Good stuff. Were you going to say more, or should I keep going through trivia?
No, keep going. Keep going. So that is weird. It is a weird. I don't know. I'm sure I don't know if it's been done before. But this is one of the first films to do this, where they blend because of the actors. That they're actually doing this AI blending as to try to make the people look like other people. It's not like you're just again. You've got trying to make Robert De Niro look young. Right. That's going on all the time. But this is kind of a sort of different approach where you're trying to make one actress look like another as you're doing like a sequence as they're aging.
Didn't they add prosthetics onto the actors in the It movie to make them look like their child counterparts? But
I don't remember CG. That. Yeah.
That's that's different.
Right.
But
yeah. But that makes sense.
Yeah. And that looks better for sure.
Probably. Yeah.
They had considered for a while casting Charlize Theron as Furiosa in this one and using de-aging technology, but they decided against it sometime right before 2020.
And the Wikipedia, it says she was disappointed about that she would have been happy to do that.
Yeah, she was looking forward to doing it because
she's awesome in that character. I would have been. I don't think I would have minded some de-aging if that's what was needed to have Charlize still do it, but maybe that would have been weird too.
But it looks
maybe it would have been De Niro-esque.
Movie that it's in. Yeah,
you're right. It might have just not worked. But you could still
maybe it would look as weird as everything else going on in this movie CG wise.
I don't know. I mean,
and you may not have noticed. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe. I mean, yeah.
Maybe a CG face with CG background looks better than regular non-CG face on CG background.
Yeah.
Only one way to find out.
That's it. Those are equations, huh?
Regardless of all the
Doing
morphing,
math and shit.
yeah, I don't think the morphing was needed. And on
We're all used to making the leap,
Right.
logical leap
Exactly.
with
It's
actors.
fine.
Like we all
Right.
do that.
I'm not like, hey, she doesn't have the, no,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter as long as the acting is good and the sequences are good. It doesn't matter that
Yeah.
much, So unless there's some real striking difference, but she had the ferocity and sort of the intensity that Charlize had. That's all you needed, like to be able to then, like, I wasn't like sitting there going, oh, I'm mad that she, they didn't need to do that bit, right?
And I actually thought at the end too, when she like shaved her head, and I thought
Yeah.
it was Charlize's voice. I was like, they look pretty fucking similar. Like this is crazy how similar. Like their necks are really both very long. Their heads like
Right,
sit on top of a really long neck. And I just thought like the top half of their bodies. I was like, yep, they look pretty damn near the same. That's kind of crazy because in my head they look pretty different, but they made them look the same. So maybe there was some CG that actually worked in that scene. Who the fuck knows?
That's fair.
True.
They were just tossing the CG budget around. Oh, here's a fun game. What do you think the budget of this movie was? TC came out hot saying he thought it was an impressive production. I came out hot saying I thought all the CG looked like shit throughout the entire movie.
I read this on the Wikipedia, so I think I have the answer.
Oh, you
Let's
do? Okay.
go with like 80 million. No, much more.
Oh,
Wow.
Like
double it and add 8 million.
Wow.
$168 million.
Wow.
Right? You think you get a little more polish with that much money?
You think you'd get a more polished shit? Definitely.
Yeah. And they weren't spending any of the money on like the soundtrack. There was nothing there. I guess they didn't really ever spend any money on the soundtrack. Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's more than Fury Road.
I didn't think it looked like that. I guess maybe
No.
There's more settings, I guess, in this one. Like they had to create Gas
Oh
Town.
yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
Farm
You
and
got
stuff.
Gas Town, Bullet Town,
That's
all this
true.
shit, and that was kind of, those were impressive and kind of fun to look at, And then they've got the forest enclave. They've got
There's a lot of different
shit,
settings,
right? Yeah. So
you got the whole Oasis
Right.
like cavern where they
Right.
hide from the guys
right,
during the
Fury
cyber
Road.
battle.
You had the truck and the journey and the Citadel. You didn't have all this other shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sort of was again the way Fury Road was. It was just so tightly constructed that you didn't. It was minimal in some ways. That this one was sprawling, like all of,
yeah.
Definitely sprawling. Fury Road had 2,000 digital shot enhancements, and this movie had 20,000.
Jesus,
10 times more.
Shit.
10 times more, and I think it shows. Chris Hemsworth said his voice was a mixture between a carnival barker, his grandfather, and a seagull. What?
Whatever,
Huh?
Chris. You did fine. You did fine. You don't need to
Sure.
explain yourself because that just starts getting awkward.
Seagulls
It's
don't
just-
talk, Chris. They
it's
can't
weird.
speak English. What are we talking about here?
You did a good job,
what?
Chris. We can just all
Yeah.
move on from that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I was influenced by the sea. No, Chris.
Nope.
Sometimes
Nope.
it's better to let it be a mystery.
Fucking
Let it be a
actors.
mystery.
Yeah.
Fucking
Remember
actors
how
are
we
crazy,
said
man.
less is more?
Yeah, right.
stick
That's
to
right.
that.
That's
Whatever
right.
you need to tell yourself to get there,
Yeah.
man. In the back of
That's
your head, if
fine.
that's what you need
But
to do
just
this consistently,
Yes.
do it.
That's
Fine.
That's right. But we don't need to know
Yeah.
about it.
No, keep
Yeah.
it to yourself,
Right.
Chris.
Yeah,
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. Right.
Anya Taylor-Joy doesn't know how to drive. She doesn't have a driver's license.
What? Wow.
Right.
Uh-huh. But she
Seems
went to
right.
stunt school.
What country does she live in?
She's British, isn't she? Living? I think
Is she
I mean,
British?
she lives in Hollywood now, right?
Oh,
Isn't she?
I don't know. Well, maybe I guess she has a driver now.
She just has a driver.
She's
Yeah.
probably fine.
She was a kid. I mean, she was like, I think she was around 15, 16 when she did The Witch. And that was a hit. So she's like, I don't need to fucking drive. I want to
Yeah.
be famous.
No. Who needs that kind of stress?
She's
Yeah.
British American. Yeah, born 1996.
Oh.
So she's
Okay.
28 now. So how old would she be in 2015? 28. Like 17. She still could have got it. Maybe she was just like in Hollywood trying out for
It's
stuff.
like who wants to drive in fucking LA?
Yeah.
Not me.
It's true.
I know.
Jesus, no.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, let's see. But she had to take, so she did a lot of her own stunts, and they took driving stunt lessons and stuff. And on the first day, she did a J hook in a car. I don't know what that is, but it is a stunt. And without a driver's license, she was able to do it on the first day at stunt school, Either of you know what a J hook is?
No.
Nope.
I have to imagine it has something to do with the letter J in the way it is shaped, and that is the way the car moves. And
I would have to
I'm thinking of a
imagine that
J, right?
I'm unsure.
and
You
basing
go
that on
straight,
always-
and then you hook,
and then you
know?
go maybe to the
Yeah.
left on an angle. Maybe there's a tire skid involved, like a a curve, something like that.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And, yep.
All right,
Mix that
going
up.
to, we have this thing called the internet, or a J turn or a J hook.
J hook.
Because there's a tactical J turn is a tactical maneuver. Oh no, there's the J hook, first defined by Avenger 1.
Eh? Are you looking at Urban Dictionary?
Those Star Wars squadrons. That's a Star Wars move. Yeah, help! I've gone down the internet.
John can't use the internet.
John doesn't know how to use Google.
I'm looking at Star Wars trivia. What the fuck happened?
I don't know. Help!
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
Man.
So Fury Road was filmed in Namibia, and this one was filmed in Australia, New South Wales. So there's a difference there. That third act was on set. They called it Stairway to Nowhere for some reason. 78 days. They had 200 people on set all 78 days.
Jesus.
It's crazy.
There goes your 120 or 168 million right there.
I guess.
Crew.
It looks so digital, a lot of it, though. It's nuts. Could have just done it on like a freaking, what do you call it? Digital projection screen or whatever it is. What are those screens called, TC? The giant screens that you can
Blue
like
screen?
pretend.
Green
It's not
screen?
Video
blue
walls?
screen. Video walls.
Oh, video wall.
Digital.
Volume walls.
Brain doesn't work anymore, guys. It's a sad story.
So the J hook
OTC found
is
it.
when you drive backwards real fast and then you turn the wheel real fast. You know how like the car goes like
Yeah, it flips around.
Oh, you
turns
start going
around and goes
forwards?
the other direction. Yeah, right.
Ah,
Thank you, TC.
why is it a J?
I don't
That's-
fucking.
that's a question for another
you're
day,
You're
I
going
think.
backwards in
Yeah.
a straight line, and then you do the turn, and that gives you a
Yeah.
J.
Yeah.
I don't see it, but it could be,
It's like a J
Visually
with a
impaired.
tail. Yeah.
J with a tail. So on top of the Furiosa script or slash novella, there was also one that they wrote called The Wasteland. That they're also planning.
That's what's next.
They were planning on doing that, depending on how this one was performing. This movie is not performing so well.
No.
It has like $140 million at the box office right now, and it's slowed down really quickly. So that's probably all it's going to see on a $170 million budget. That's not so good.
I don't know what. Maybe
That's tough.
there'll be some good streaming. I don't know.
I don't know
Some
how
How much,
residual
do you, how much do you
licensing
make back on
anymore.
streaming? I don't know.
Licensing? I don't know. They might make.
I mean,
some,
went.
but yeah, I don't
It
know.
was kind of a nice experience. I think it's the first time I've been in the theater where there was no one else. Like usually you go and there's one or two people. This was just me. I had the whole theater.
Literally
Wow.
just you.
Yeah, just me.
What time?
It was
What time
great.
of day
That's
did you see it?
wild.
It was 9:00 on a Sunday night.
The guy would have
Only
gone.
time-
You caused a projectionist to have to stay there the entire damn night. He was
They'd
gonna go
show
home
it
early.
anyway. They'd show it
They
anyway.
show it
right?
anyway.
They have to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No, they
Yeah.
don't.
Definitely.
Actually,
Yeah, they
no.
do.
No, they don't. Not everywhere.
You don't
at
think
least.
if
I went
Oh,
to
so
go
you
see
think
the
if
King's
nobody
Speech
buys
once in Boston,
tickets?
the guy came in and said like, "Oh man, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have played it." That's what the guy told me.
so basically if no tickets get sold, obviously they don't bother because
Yeah.
there's no reason to. Yeah.
That was
Awesome.
back like 15 years ago though, or something. And
Apologize to him, John. You
Apologize
you
to
owe
that
an
kid.
apology.
Hey, listen, shout out to the Hollywood 12 Theater in Rochester because it was great. It was clean. It was a relaxed atmosphere there. The seats
it
were
doesn't have the
comfy.
shitty IMAX that John shat
No.
on a couple episodes
No,
ago.
it doesn't. Actually, it was
No.
really nice. The sound was great. It was really nice and loud, but not headache inducing. It was great.
Oh, mine
I
was
really-
like
I really
blow
enjoyed
my
it.
socks off loud. It was
That's
Oh, really?
ridiculous.
for the ending advertisements. Let's do that one too, TC. Where did you go?
Oh, I
What
went
was
to
your
Cinepolis in Inglewood, California.
That's a good one. If you want to do IMAX,
It's a great one. It's a luxury.
Oh.
Brand new.
Do you have the
too.
cushy
So they're
seats or the reclining chairs?
Cushy seats, the child recliner chairs, the delivery.
Oh, they deliver the food to you?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
it's great. They have
Oh,
a
yeah.
full menu. It's awesome.
Oh, damn! It's like an Alamo.
And when you order the candy, they come in the king set, like the variety set. You know, like when you go to Costco and you get like a big one, or like not that. No, if you go to like, let's say you go to CVS and they have like the family pack, that's what you get.
Oh, nice.
It's like
And it's
too
only
much to eat.
$25.
No, I think it was only like it's like $8, $9 or something, but it
not
was
bad.
wild. Yeah, it's not so bad. But yeah, it's something else. Like you get too many, can't finish them.
That's good. I think you just drop them on the ground.
They have like a thing. You
Gotta roll 'em down
act
the
like
aisle.
a human. You don't throw them on the
You
ground.
gotta upend it. Let it listen to it as it rolls down. Hits people in the
You
back.
gotta
of the feet
throw it
when
at the
you're gonna watch a
screen and
movie.
boo and yell. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw mine at the Grand Lake Theater, the historic Grand Lake in Oakland. Super old
Okay.
theater back in was built in 1912 or something like that. It's like one of the longest running theaters in the country. Pretty sweet.
Ah.
It's got like a nice the sidewalls and stuff is all like opera house shit with like detailing and curtains and all that. It's pretty sweet.
Pretty cool.
And they like to post political shit on the marquee every once in a while when things are getting hot in the country. That's nice
All
too.
right. Good for
Oh
them.
boy.
Oh boy.
It's California
What are
TC.
you
What
gonna
are you
do?
gonna do?
I know. I just ignore it.
All right. So would you put this in the top 250?
No.
No.
But I
Are you
enjoyed
glad
it.
you watched it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a good time.
Yes.
I mean,
did
it's,
too.
did
not,
too.
it's not like the best, I could pick it apart, and certainly it pales in comparison to Fury Road. But everything would. Like, how could you
Definitely
do this
to Dune.
again? Like, and to Dune. as
and to
well.
Dune, but also tough. That's a tough one.
But this
Those
was
are like
this
peak
was like
Apples and
I
oranges,
still-
but hey,
yeah.
Yeah.
I still
Same.
wanted to get an entertaining action movie, and for the most part, I got that, and I was happy, like, to go and watch that.
Agreed.
I ate a bunch of Skittles and got my ears blown out and I enjoyed it.
Nice.
So
I got my first date night since having a baby. Got out of the
Nice.
house, got Naomi's parents watching the kid. We
Yeah.
went out we had dinner beforehand, and then we went to go see a 2.5 hour
Oh,
long
you get
movie.
to experience
How about
the joy of just enjoying a movie because you're out of the house.
It was fantastic.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah. Sometimes
That's right.
I'm like first half an hour, I'm like, do I hear crying? Is that crying?
No, I'm just happy to be here. I don't care.
I'm
if this is
hallucinating
shit.
crying. Shit.
I'm not having kids.
It's like
I don't know
it's
what
like
to
when you
say.
have your cell phone in your pocket, and nowadays, whenever like sometimes you feel a buzz and you check it, and you're like, oh, it didn't buzz. My leg just told me that it buzzed, and it actually didn't. I'm hearing phantom cries all the time. It's only
Yeah,
been like
well,
3
happens.
months.
when that's all you hear all day and night, that's tends
I'm
to
gonna be
happen.
personally responsible for TC not having kids. I feel like
Yep, that's right. I think
right.
that adds up.
it's
Yeah.
great, TC. It is hilarious when they're
Oh, you have to say that
crying,
you're contractually
smiling,
obligated to
and
say that after
pooping
you have
in
the
your
child.
lap at the
That's
same
right.
time.
At the same time.
Yeah, if they're eating,
God.
kind of smiling at you, shitting their pants, and continuing to eat, you're just like, you're a mess, dude. You
Yeah.
have no control
No.
over what you're doing.
That's kind of funny.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
yeah,
And their
right.
hair is always just like sticking up in stupid ways, and their hands are just like little robot arms
doing
and
weird
shit.
things, and yeah, right. I mean, it's kind of fun. To be
It is pretty
thinking
funny.
that you could live that life again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next
All
week we're
right.
gonna go back to the list.
Yep.
Cool.
Can you believe what number we're on the list?
24,
21.
23, 21.
21.
Yeah,
We are
20 left.
skipping It's a Wonderful Life for Christmas time, so we kind of skipped
Okay.
one, but
Fine.
City of God 2002.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Have you guys seen this?
I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a choice made
This
in
is-
that film that's
this is a
still
tough one.
That still was rough. I
Yeah.
remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
now I'm
bit of a-
excited.
It's been a while since I've watched this one,
Mhm.
Nice.
but I remember showing
I
my
remember,
parents.
I remember
it.
certain
They
things.
did not like it.
Not a
Are
good
you
family
surprised?
movie.
The moral of the story is never show your parents a movie. I mean, I
Not-
don't know
not
why
even
you
just-
haven't
That's
learned
just
that
my
yet.
moral. My parents hate movies, and I just continually show them
You
movies
just
that
make
scare
them
them.
watch it. Yeah. Brutal.
I never learned.
Uh,
I'm smart.
uh,
All right,
wow.
so we're gonna do that one next week, and then
Yep.
after
All right,
that,
cool.
there's actually a bunch of movies to get you guys excited. Bunch of new ones that I think are going to be like affordable and rentable that look pretty good. So
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
yeah, we could
Let's
maybe
do it.
And honestly, I don't want to get this secret out too far, but Naomi's parents said they let us do this once a month, so we could maybe go to the theater again pretty soon.
Awesome.
Check out the movie
Don't
Maxine.
jinx it.
Have you heard of that
All
one,
right.
Maxine?
No.
Maxine with 3 X's. Check out the trailer. It looks
No,
pretty
I
awesome.
have. I forget. I've
Something
seen
to
the
do with
trailer.
murder, something to do with Hollywood. It's super
like
stylized,
maybe-
based in the
yeah,
80s.
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
pretty cool. It did.
It
look
looks
cool.
awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
It did look cool.
All right. Well, so next week is what
City
again?
of God next week.
City of God.
City of God. All right.
Sweet.
All right.
All right.
All right, guys.
Talk to you guys
Bye,
later.
boys. See you later.
Bye-bye.